Hey, friends,
and welcome to Fren Talk Podcast with your hosts, Cicely and
Shamika.
Two country girls from way down south, West Memphis, Arkansas to be exact, who happen to be friends and
911 dispatchers.
Since we all have the same basic needs and are all on similar journeys, sometimes it just helps to have a friend to talk to about the everyday issues that plague us all.
We're not therapists or self-help gurus, but we hope that by opening up a real conversation, we can all find some common ground and a safe space to heal,
share, and build toward future greatness.
So come on.
Let's jump into today's topic.
Let's go.
We're ready.
Hey, friends!
And welcome to the very first episode of Fren Talk Podcast with your host, Cicely
and Shamika.
Y'all, we are just two country girls from West Memphis, Arkansas with a whole lot to say.
A lot.
We happen to be friends and 911 dispatchers. So we hope that you all are prepared for the journey that we're about to take y'all on. Because it's going to be a ride, honey. This is our very first episode, so we are super excited, a little bit nervous, but more excited than anything.
Just a little bit nervous, more excited.
Absolutely, because we've actually been going live from Facebook, and we appreciate the love that y'all have been showing over there. But be sure to follow us on IG at Fren_Talk_podcast. Also follow us on YouTube, where we'll post every other Wednesday new episodes of the podcast.
Yeah. We're also on Snapchat at Fren Talk, capital F, capital T, Fren Talk.
Fren Talk. Yeah, we're going to jump right into today's topic. Let me start with a trigger warning because we will be discussing acts of sexual aggression and violence, which is not a super comfortable topic to talk about, but that's why Fren Talk exists in the first place.
It needs to be talked about.
Because there are so many things, especially in the Black community, that we don't discuss or, that we kind of want to sweep under the rug. But at this point, everything is fair game.
It goes on a lot, so it needs to be talked about.
Yeah,
we've learned that it goes on way more than we thought it did.
A lot more than one would
hope talk about it.
That it's happening. But this podcast for me is a passion project. It's something that I've thought about for years. It's something that I've bugged my friend about. Just
not so much bugged, but she has brought it to me a lot. So we was like, we got to get this going.
We got to get it going. And initially it was something that I was going to do alone. But then I was like, you know what? It would actually work better if I had my friend. And
it don't hurt her friend cute.
And it don't hurt at all.
All right, then.
It don't hurt at all. But this has lived in my heart for a long time, and I'm glad you all are coming along with me. So I am intentional about moving in love, and moving righteously. And this is my contributions to all things truth, okay?
I like that.
Thank you, friend.
I like that.
And in the spirit of truth and love, I hope that others are empowered to speak their truths out loud and without fear, okay? And with that said, let's jump straight into today's topic.
Let's go.
I actually had to give my mama this trigger warning this morning because I've never, as a 40-year-old woman, I have never shared this with my mom or my sister. We were actually on a conference call this morning, and I didn't want her to watch this and be thrown off by the subject matter because it's not something that is easily shared. And it wasn't until a couple years ago
when we discussed it
that I brought it to Mika, and I was like, friend, have you ever had something like this happen to you? And when I came to her, it actually felt like a safe space because I never shared it. And when she was like, oh my God, friend.
It happened.
It happened to me too.
On more than one occasion.
Twice. To both of us.
Twice.
Two separate incidences. But the question that I pose to women when I talk about this is it possible to consent to rape?
And Shamika believes it is.
And I know that's a hard question because it doesn't even sound like a logical question. It doesn't even sound like something you ask, but in the instance where, or in the two instances where I've experienced something that I consider to be sexually aggressive, one was with someone who I had dated long term and had broken it off with, and at the point that we were no longer together, he came to where I lived at the time, and he knocked on the door, and because I know him and because we've never had, he's never been physical with me. Yeah, he never hit me or anything like that, and we were, young. But I trusted him. So a lot of times it's not strangers, it's not people who you don't know, it's people who you have given a certain level of trust to and respect, because, you know, this is somebody that you know. But in the instance where I had heard this before when I was much younger, that, you know, you can rape your wife. I had never thought that there was, you know, this
that it was possible.
Yeah, because I had never experienced something like that. I didn't even think it to be possible. But at the moment that a woman says no, the answer is absolutely
no. No,
a
other,
woman is nothing. Saying no, the answer is no.
It's no.
I don't care if she giggled when she said it. I don't care if she, you know, nervously laughed. If she says no, that means no. But because I trusted him, I allowed him in. It was after 7 p.m., I'm sure, because it was dusk, dark. And when he came in, you know, he was attempting, or seemingly attempting, to get back with me and try to work things out. But he started aggressively pursuing me. Yes. So it's the heavy breathing on the neck, it's the trying to get in my pants, and all the while I'm saying, stop, no, don't do this.
He like, you gonna give me this.
Yeah, and you don't, as a woman, I don't know, it's so weird, but you don't want to scream. You don't want to let on that there's a problem or that you feel afraid.
You don't want him to hit you.
You don't want him to get more physical
than
he already is. And at the moment that a woman is saying no and she's telling you to stop and she's cowering away from you,
just stop.
Just stop. Because what you're doing next.
Yeah, because at that point
is rape.
Like for me, next? I'm like you. At that point, I just give in. Because my first experience, I'm 6 feet tall. So I'm a tall woman. Yes. Heavy woman, everything. My guy was about 6'5", about 320, maybe more. I don't know. Came over. It wasn't even nighttime. It was in the daytime. So that shouldn't even been on your mind. Sex shouldn't have been on your mind. We was kicking it.
At least that's when it wasn't on yours.
And then he started saying, let's do it. I'm like, no. Trying to unbuckle my pants, pull your pants down. No. And it came to a point where I was like, if I don't give him this, he gonna take it. He gonna beat me up. He gonna strong arm me. He gonna do something. So I just laid there. Here you go. And then he should have known by the no interaction from me while it was going on that it ain't something I really wanted to do.
And he might have known that and didn't care.
Didn't care. Because he kept going, he did what he did, and I never talked to him again. He messaged me after that. I didn't respond. I didn't know how to block people back then, but you know, it's scary. I don't know how many women go through this, but it's happened to both of us.
It's happened to both of us. And I polled a room of 4 women. 3 out of 4 women had experienced the exact same thing, had extremely similar stories, which then let me know that this is happening way too often. And it's happening to not just women. We're women, so we're speaking from our perspective, but we know that this is happening to men as well.
It's happening, period.
It's happening. It's happening to children. It's happening to adults. And this is a topic that if we're not already discussing with our daughters, with our nieces, with our sons, our nephews,
do it.
We need to be talking about this.
Do it.
Okay. But discussing it with my mom this morning and discussing it with Mika a couple years ago really afforded me the opportunity to, number one, feel heard.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that you broadcast. It's not something that you go around wearing like a badge of honor. You are actually embarrassed.
You keep it to yourself.
That it's happened to you. And there's a shame and almost a kind of guilt,
stigma on it.
That you as a woman carry after something like that happens, because why would you do this to me? It was unwarranted. Thank God that in both instances, I was able to get out of the situation without being forced into actual sex or actual penetration. But it was hard, and I had to fight my way up out of it.
And I wish I could have did that. I had to actually do it.
Go through
with the whole thing. And like you say, you do be shamed. I felt dirty. I felt dirty when I got done. Like when you see on TV, SVU, they take a shower when it's over. You get this. I want it all off of me.
Yeah.
You got to get it off of me. And I was scared of the person. I didn't want him to call me, contact me. I was terrified. And in one of mine, I saw this guy in public afterwards. Wow. So that was a big thing for me. I tried to like literally hide.
Well, I was going to ask, what was it like when you saw him?
I tried to hide. Like, I don't need him to see me. I don't need him to talk to me. I don't need him to do anything to me. But he didn't probably think that he was doing that to me. Or like you said, he probably did. He just didn't care.
Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of times in instances like this, you weren't his first victim.
No, probably wasn't the last.
And you probably were not the last.
No.
And that's why I don't want to get too deep into the Me Too movement, but that's why that became such a big thing, because once one woman comes forward with her story, you have so many more women or so many more people that come forward to say, this actually happened to me too.
But like you said, we keep it to ourselves because we are embarrassed.
Absolutely.
We are shame. It's like you don't want people judging you because this happened to you, because they're thinking, well, she let him do it.
Yeah.
But if I ain't have a choice, I don't want no man beating me up, taking something from me. Just give it to him. Give it to him so he can get it over with
your life.
and I can get out of here.
Yeah.
He gonna let
and
me
that's how
go.
a lot of women feel. And think about the many rapes that go unreported because women are afraid or ashamed or feel some level of guilt. Like,
And they may actually get beat up. They might actually get strong armed.
Oh gosh, yes.
But some people like that. They want to fight, So then sometimes you feel like if you consent, maybe he won't take it. Maybe he'll go on about his business. But, it happens to us. Like she said, boys, girls, it happens to everybody. Mm-hmm. It don't even matter your age. I was in my 20s when this happened, but I try not to put myself in that situation anymore.
Yeah.
If I'm not feeling you, if I know that's not what's going to happen, I'm not going to.
And I do want to touch on some ways in just a moment that young women especially, because I really want to speak directly to young women and young men who have had these experiences or may potentially, unfortunately, go through things like this, things that you can do to kind of safeguard or at least try to safeguard against things like this. Again, we're not therapists or self-help gurus. We're just talking from personal life experience, okay?
Yes.
But for a moment, let's talk toxic masculinity. That is a term that I hated when I first heard it, because I'm thinking masculinity as God created it, because I believe in God and I respect you if you don't. But I just felt like, God's created a man to be masculine, so what could be toxic about that? But the term toxic masculinity does not refer to masculinity in and of itself as being toxic, but it's the normalization of harmful norms associated with masculinity. That's toxic as hell. Toxic masculinity refers to certain harmful cultural and societal norms, like boys ain't supposed to cry or being stoic.
I hate the boys not supposed to cry. I hate that.
I hate it so much.
Express yourself.
Because you're human, and God made all of us with emotion. So sadness, fear, laughter, all of that is who we are. Yes. So to tell a young man not to cry is...
Yeah, I hate that. Express your feelings. I tell my nephew all the time.
That's barbaric to me.
Express yourself.
Absolutely. Yes. I raised my son to, I'm going to be crying like I cry all the time. But
you can let it out.
Pain... It is okay to cry.
Because it helps you, makes you feel better.
Absolutely. But yeah, being stoic, not displaying emotion, being promiscuous, being violent, being dominant over a woman's or another man.
True.
Sexual aggression, sexual violence toward women, restraining emotions except pride and anger. Those are things that... And I just wanted to put that out there for clarification for people who might have been like I was when I first heard the term. Is masculinity ain't toxic, but it's not referring to a man's masculinity in and of itself. It's the cultural norms and societal norms that make that toxic. But toxic men feel entitled to a woman's body.
A lot of them are narcissistic as well.
Absolutely. I feel like they go hand in hand.
Yes.
I feel like narcissism and toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. All of it.
All of it.
Goes hand in hand.
Anything can really be
me.
toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But there are people that think that women contribute. Or victims. I keep saying women, but victims, because men can be victims as well. That contribute to the violence against them by either being easy or, saying what she wore may have gotten her what she got.
Because I can wear what I want to wear.
but none of the above is a reason.
Right.
For any man.
I see men looking good all the time, but I'm not going to try to take
go up
it.
And grope you.
Smelling good, I'm not going to try to take you.
Yeah, you might
know what I'm saying?
Smell real good. I ain't going to come up and
smell
lick you on
good
the
to get
neck.
you. Right. But I ain't finna take nothing from you because you smell good.
Yeah, but
you got to give me something. I ain't taking nothing.
Absolutely. There is not a reason on earth that a man or woman should ever be violated.
Truth.
So
truth.
I don't care how short your skirt was. If you have been a victim and somebody told you that you should have had on something different, they're wrong. You're not.
Cuss them out.
You didn't put yourself in harm's way by having on what you had, because that man should have had enough restraint to not do that to you.
Yes.
And at the moment that a woman says no, a decent man is going to respect that.
Very respectful.
A decent man is going to respect that.
He's
going to immediately.
Yes.
And I teach my son, any no means no.
I'm with you.
Any no means no.
Like you said, it could be playful. It could be laughing, because it could be a nervous giggle.
Absolutely.
Giggle.
Yeah, please no. And some women are extremely timid.
Right.
Some of us, our personalities are different. So some people laugh when they're upset. Some people laugh when they're sad.
Yeah. But just no is no. I don't care if you laughed with it.
No is
joke
absolutely
with
no.
it. Just don't do it. If she say no or he say no, just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Let it go. And if you don't think that you like that, but you're real aggressive, you probably like that. But if you there with that woman or that man and they're not giving you no interaction, and you practically pride yourself on top of them and all the other stuff, you already know.
And sometimes women are left feeling guilty for having had to go through sexual acts with men, and their bodies responding in a way that they naturally do for sexual purposes. So if a woman is getting moist, then she feels like I contributed somehow.
But it's natural.
Or I welcome this, when that does not mean that. And so many victims really need therapy afterward, really suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder and things of that nature, because you don't get to control certain things. That's just nature. But you are left with those feelings of shame and guilt because your body responded like it did.
And you can't help that.
And again, that's not your fault.
It's natural.
That's not
It's natural.
Absolutely natural.
Sex is natural.
God made that for that purpose. So
you're going to get
natural.
moist. You're going to do everything. Just like if it's a man happening to him, he's going to have an erection, because that's natural.
More than likely. Absolutely.
So don't feel bad about it. Don't feel guilty. It ain't your fault.
Don't apologize. You didn't do anything wrong.
It happened to you. You're a victim.
That's right. But yeah, society's double standards almost suggest in some instances that women must be perfect in order to be valued, and that's not the case. That is not the case.
'Cause
I don't care if
you're
you're a sex worker. If you saying no to a man because you feel uncomfortable, no means no.
I'm with you, sex worker or not. If she don't want it, she don't want it.
But a lot of those cases go unreported because they know how society feels about them. Is that not the saddest thing ever?
It is sad.
That there are women out there that just because they choose that as a profession, and whether you agree or disagree with the lifestyle, we got to look at the humanity.
We do.
And the fact that forcing yourself on anybody is wrong.
It's wrong.
When there's all kind of people out here throwing ass, okay?
That'll give it to you. You ain't got to, but some people like the forceful. They like taking it. It's a thing.
Or they like the fear of the
you being scared of them and all of that stuff like that. So they like the strong arm.
And in a lot of instances, I talked a little bit about the first instance, but the second instance was, I was much younger, when the first incident happened, maybe 19. But the second one was, I was divorced after my first marriage. I was married young, but after my first marriage, I was, kind of back on the dating scene and kind of trying to get back out there, and had agreed to a date with a guy that I met. Looked extremely clean cut, well groomed, well spoken. Invited me out to dinner. We went to dinner, had a great time.
Yeah.
You know what's on your mind, but you don't ever know what's on somebody else's mind.
No, you don't.
But when I say that was the scariest night of my life. I had left my son with my mom. And once things started to go left, the only thing I was thinking was, God, I want to see my kid again. Like, I do not want this night to end with me losing my life.
And I'm sure he knew you were scared.
Oh, gosh, yes.
He knew you were scared,
but
he didn't care.
Because when I saw him and we exchanged numbers, we'd actually met while we were out. I was with a couple friends and we were having some drinks at a restaurant, and he approached. We exchanged numbers, like I said, and we ended up setting up a date night. And thank God, the one thing I did right, and that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about, is if you're going on the first date with anybody, I just think it's wise to drive your own vehicle.
I'm not riding with nobody. I'm going to meet you. I'm going to meet you there.
And I'm so thankful that night I had the good sense to drive my own car.
Because you'd been trapped.
I would have been stuck. I would have
absolutely. I just would have ran out of his house and just went outside
Fren,
with my purse.
Let me tell you what happened. So we leave the restaurant we were at. We get back to his place, or what I thought was his place. We're sitting in the living room, and I say, okay, so you live here alone? And I'm looking around. And he said, actually, this is my friend's house.
He took you to somebody else's house.
So now I'm like, is this motherfucker recording me in here or something? Seriously,
something going on.
What are we doing at your friend's
yes.
house? He says, actually, he's out of town, and he's letting me keep the place. I'm kind of watching it for him. And I said, okay, well, why are we not at your place? And he said, well, I forgot to tell you that I'm married.
Ooh. Got you with that one, didn't it?
First of all,
that's why you at his friend's house.
That's why I'm at his friend's house, okay? So, now I feel like I already don't know this man.
Right.
But now I feel like I'm with a complete stranger. And at that moment, it was a scary realization that I don't know this man. And here I am in this house after dark. And that's a guilt that a lot of women carry because you went there. Not thinking that anything like that was. I was thinking we, gonna have a little nightcap or something and continue the conversation.
Because you could do that without sex.
Because you can absolutely do that without sex.
We're grown. You could do it without sex.
Absolutely. And so, and I'm still a young lady. At that time, I might have been 29 or...
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there, 28, 29.
Yeah.
And at the point that he told me he was married, I was done. I was ready to go. But I was like, how am I going to get out of this? Well, immediately after that, he begins to get aggressive. We had a glass of wine. I set my glass on the table. As soon as I did, he went in. Just went in for the kill. So he's all over me. And I'm like, hold on, whoa, wait a minute. That's not what I came here for.
Because once you told me you was married, that turned me off anyway. That turned me
completely off. Because now you're a liar.
Right.
You can lie by omission. Just because you didn't, you left that part out, but you're still a liar.
Yes,
because you
liar.
Knew you had a wife.
I forgot to tell you.
Before you invited me out and we've had phone conversation and met up.
You should have never approached me.
Yeah, you should have never approached me, sir. Anywho, as he progressively gets more and more aggressive, I'm now looking for, I'm sitting there really internally praying.
Yeah.
What do I do? Because the muscles that I saw that was attractive are now scary as hell. Okay.
No, I got you on that.
And he's flexing to show me that
this big ass man.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm stronger than you. So I'm thinking, and I was like, God, what do I do? He said, you're gonna have to run. And I was like, man, my purse is over here. My purse is on the side of him. My keys are in the purse.
Okay.
And I'm like, how do I get out of here? And I said, quickly, I gotta go to the bathroom. So he let me up to go to the bathroom. But my purse is still sitting beside him. So when I leave out and go to the bathroom, I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Because now I'm going to look crazy. Like if I start running because...
it ain't funny.
What if he's not?
What is funny?
And let me pause here to make this point. If you feel like something is wrong, it is.
Something's wrong.
Don't question it. Don't second guess yourself. I was like, am I going to look crazy if I start just bolt out of this damn house running? And
that's
at
okay.
that point, I didn't even care no more.
I'm out of here.
Listen, I was like, Lord, what I'm going to do? He said, run. I came out of I can laugh about it now, but when I tell you
then
that
it wasn't
night,
funny.
It was sheer terror. I ran out of the bathroom. I beeline to my purse. I grabbed my keys. Y'all, I didn't have the automatic unlock.
You had a regular.
I got a big Impala key. Friend, I grabbed my purse, and now he's acting like all innocent. He was like, "Hey, everything okay? What's going on? Your ass is what's going on. You are scaring the out of me, sir. You trying to take my goodies, and
cookies.
I'm ready to go." And so I didn't even exchange any words with him at that point. I got my purse, I got my keys, I ran to the front door, and I'm glad it wasn't like a Freddy Krueger house or something, like had doors like bolted and stuff, because I probably would have been for sure gone.
That's crazy.
I don't think I don't know. I can't say what he would have done. I don't know that he would have killed me, but he for sure was. He
gonna take some though.
Yeah, he was finna strong arm.
Both of mine happened at home.
See, that's sad.
Then I was home by myself. You know, I should have opened the door, let my dog come in there, but I'm not trying to be funny. But
Friend, Pup was kind of small to handle.
But he would have handled it. He would have handled it. But my second one, same thing. I'm tall. I like tall men.
Of course, absolutely.
So he come over there. We in the living room. We talking. We just, watching TV, watching a movie and stuff like this before Netflix and chill. Before they called it that. So we in there watching TV and he started getting touchy-feely. First off, you know how when you meet somebody, y'all exchange numbers, whatever, but when they finally get to you, you're not as attracted to them as you thought you were. Then the conversation wasn't good. Yeah. So I was like, ugh, this ain't me right here. Yeah. So I was going to watch the movie, play it out, and then he can go about his business. Yeah. Well, then you want to throw your hand on my thigh. I move your hand. Then you want to get on my neck. I do the little, the little move because my neck, my spot. So I do the little move. I need you to get off me. You know what I'm saying? So then you trying to get in your pants, and then you keep moving the hand, but they keep trying to go in there.
Oh gosh!
And they keep one thing they always say is, "Come on,
or just let me put the head in."
Yeah, let me just do this. Come on,
sir. I don't want any.
It ain't. We could do it. We grown. I know I'm grown. But again. He was bigger than me, pinning me down on the couch, and I'm like, go on. Start kissing my neck, put his hand in my pants, and then there, I just laid there, left it alone, and I let it happen.
Because why?
I thought he was going to get me. I thought he was going to whip my ass.
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to fight me.
That's the sad part, and that's why it's necessary to have these kinds of conversations. Mothers and fathers, we know that the world has changed, and we know that it's not, we don't have the nuclear families that we used to have, but talk to your kids.
Please
talk to your nieces and nephews. Men, mentor these young men and let them know that when a woman wants you, you will know. If she tells you anything other than yes, then you are violating her. And that's a very real thing. And it comes with a very real criminal charge if she happens to report it. Mm-hmm. But I'm a solution-oriented person, and we talking about toxic masculinity and what that means and what that looks like. But I don't like to talk about a problem without at least exploring a solution. So we have to talk about ways to prevent these kinds of things from plaguing our sons and daughters.
When you can.
When you can, because not all the time, not everybody makes it out of these situations.
They don't.
Not everybody has been as fortunate as I have been. My friend wasn't as fortunate as me.
No.
And a lot of other women have violently suffered at the hands of men who didn't give a damn about taking what they wanted. Sir, you are not at liberty to just go around taking anything.
And if you did that to me, you've done it before and continue to do it.
That's his MO.
Yes, it's scary. It's very scary.
It's extremely scary for the person experiencing it. And like I said, women we don't even talk about this stuff a lot of the times among each other. I'm just a talker. Okay, so I ask my friends random questions.
And one day she just brought it up.
I just happened to ask one day. I was like, friend, have you ever experienced, a guy just coming on you forcefully to the point where you almost felt like you had to give in? Young ladies, if you're going to meet a man and you're going out on a first date, and I'm talking to y'all like I would talk to my nieces or like I would talk to my sister or people that I love, drive your own vehicle.
Yes.
If you don't know this man, I really don't care if you do know him, because you really don't know people.
You don't.
I don't care how well you think you do. Drive your own vehicle if at all possible. It's best not to go back to his place on a first date.
I'm a public person. We can do anything in public on the first date.
Yes.
I ain't even sit in your car with you and talk to you. We can stand outside the cars.
Too dangerous out
We can stay in the restaurant and talk. We can go to a park, anything, but it got to be public and it got to be people out there. Mm-hmm. Because I won't go through it again. And now I make sure not to put myself in those situations anymore. I'm much older and I try to select better now.
Absolutely.
And be very cautious about stuff that I do. So we trying now, and it's just be careful. If you got any kids, please, like she said, talk to them.
And age has a lot to do with it too, because like I said, both of us were extremely young when this happened.
I was in my 20s.
I was in my 20s the second time, and just, right after high school the first time. And I think a lot of times these predators know that you're vulnerable. They know that, and they come off, it's like they're wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
Where they appear to be one thing to you. And when you are a young lady, and I've always been mature, but you're not as smart as you think you are, young lady. If your mom and them telling you to slow down, you probably need to slow down.
Some of these men give you that smoke and mirrors,
They absolutely do.
They portray something and they really not.
Absolutely. That's what they do, and that's how they reel you in because, again, you have some level of trust or some kind of admiration or a mutual attraction, and they haven't come off as creepy. And so you feel like they're trustworthy, especially when you have a young
But you ain't got
mind.
to take nothing, because as a woman, for me, when I first meet a guy, I know whether I'm going to have sex with him or not. I know if we getting down or not.
Absolutely.
So you ain't got to take nothing. Just let it ride and let it play out. We're going to do it anyway. Mm-hmm. So why we doing all this? You ain't got to take nothing that I'm going to give you anyways.
Absolutely
I might not be giving it to you tonight, but I'm giving it to you.
But you will get it.
Right.
Be patient, sir. Be patient.
Patience is key.
But we have to explore what positive masculinity and positive femininity look like. If we're gonna, harp on the negative, we got to talk about what that looks like in play. But for me, I feel like it's developing healthy relationship skills, like communication, like vulnerability. Instead of teaching your kid or you're telling your sons, you don't need to cry. Tell him, son, when you're hurt, it's okay for you to come to me. It's okay. Open up the lines of communications with these young men, because y'all see what's going on out here in these streets. They shooting everybody up. They killing. They don't care about life anymore. And I'm not talking about all people, but there is a certain demographic of people that are committing crimes on a regular because they don't have anything else to look forward to.
Let them express their feelings, because I know it ain't got nothing to do with topic, but depression is real. And it's real in Black men.
It is.
So especially if you with me, you related to me, this I tell my nephew, my baby all the time, tell me how you feel. Because I don't want you to be the one that hurts yourself or hurt somebody else. Please tell me exactly how you feel, because that is real. That is real.
But feeling comfortable in emotionally nurturing roles, but most importantly for me, what I personally feel like would help to end a lot of toxic masculinity. I'm not necessarily saying sexual assault or things like sexual violence, but it would end a lot of what we see as toxic masculinity if men call out other men who engage in these kinds of behaviors. When you see it,
please
say something.
Yeah, say something.
If you see something, say something.
I like that.
Because it's not right and it's not okay, and there's too many people suffering in silence. I went, y'all, from the age of 18 or 19 when the first incident happened, the second incident around 28, 29, post-marriage, I had never shared this with my mother. I had never told, me and my baby sister are extremely close. We talk about everything. I had never shared this with her because there is a certain level of guilt and shame associated with instances that happen.
And you don't want anybody
like
to look at you like you're weak. It's like a stigma with it.
Yes, because I'm a very strong woman. Like, absolutely.
They be like, you be thinking, I'm Cicely, I'm Shamika. You can't let this happen. You know how people see us, perceive us day to day. So if you letting that happen, I don't like to be looked at as weak anyway. I don't even let people see me cry.
I think that's a black But
So yeah,
thing.
I don't like to be perceived as weak. So when you
said it, cry because I'm a cry.
When you said it and we talked about it, it was like a breath of fresh air, like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Dang, my friend been through this. My friend done did this. Then I thought, who else been through this?
Who else?
And like you did, I asked women at work about it. Not all of them said they had been through it, but a lot of them had been through it. A
lot of them could relate and had extremely similar stories to mine. And it's not all the time, and that's why I want young ladies to be so careful, because it's not strangers a lot of the times. It's not people you don't know.
Because I had been on several dates with my two people. Several times. We had never been there, but we had been out and hung out and all of that several times prior to these incidences. So
that's so unfortunate.
It is.
That is so unfortunate, because like I said, I think about the fact that I was able to walk away from these situations, but every single day somebody is living through something like traumatic this. And now having to recover, and then not having anybody that they can relate to what they're going through, or at least, they haven't verbalized.
They keep it to themselves.
Because a lot of us,
but they mama, they sister, they cousin, brother might have been through this same thing. You just don't know because you're voicing it.
And they're not going to voice it because it's a hard conversation to have. That's a hard thing to say to somebody, that I was weak enough to be taken advantage of.
Well, don't say, but you feel like
that's what you feel
like the weak enough, but you aren't weak.
Not at all.
You were vulnerable, and somebody took advantage of that, and they did some things to you that they shouldn't have done.
They absolutely shouldn't have done.
So that's why we asked the question: is
it possible to consent?
Consent to rape?
And for me, the answer is, my no is no. And at the point that you've proceeded,
after I said no,
you just violated. So you can't. I don't feel like there's ever consent. I feel like in your situation, you let him do what he did because you were afraid.
Like you said, I wanted to make it out alive.
You just wanted to make it out on the other side.
I didn't want to be harmed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate.
It's
so unfortunate. But guys, we want to absolutely thank you guys for tuning in to this first podcast episode. We're definitely going to have a lot more content coming in the future. We're so excited. We're so excited to be working with Mr. Cassius McGowan, owner of ISF Productions here at Memphis Podcast. Anybody else looking to start a podcast, y'all hit this man up. He's amazing, super talented, super personable, easy to talk to, easy to work with. Again, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, you're not alone. If you've gone through this, please, please, please seek help. Tell somebody, because a lot of times your attacker really looks for you to not say anything. He looks for you to keep it to yourself. And I promise you, if you come forward, you are not going to be alone. Sadly, you won't.
You'll be amazed how many people have that same story that you have.
You'll be amazed, and you'll be comforted in the fact that you're not alone, and that somebody understands exactly what you're talking about. Because for me, a lot of the times it's just that, you need somebody to understand. You need
get that weight off your shoulders.
Get it off your shoulders, even if they haven't been through it. Get it off your shoulders, because you deserve love. I don't care what your occupation. I don't care what you wore. I don't care if you was looking too sexy for him.
None of that matters.
No, because a man or woman who does things like, because sadly, men are raped by women. I know some they're older men now, but when they were younger, they were taken advantage of by women. And you did nothing to deserve that.
You did nothing wrong.
I want you guys to know that this is a safe space. Please like, share, comment, leave your comments, leave your feedback, respectfully, of course. We look forward to many more podcast episodes with you guys.
If you get disrespectful, we can get disrespectful too, just to throw that out there.
Because
we are human.
We're from the dirty South, and we don't play those kind of games. And we are always going to keep it cute.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to keep it classy. But
we can read you right.
We can read now.
But, thanks for joining us on Fren Talk.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all
again for following us on our socials. Please, Y'all keep the likes, shares, follows, and subscriptions coming. We appreciate you guys so much, and tune in for the next Friends Talk podcast in the very near future.
All right.
Bye. Friends, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out to spend with us, because we know y'all could have been anywhere else.
Help us grow our community and expand our reach. So if you're not already, please like, follow, and subscribe to keep up with us on YouTube, Facebook, and Snapchat at Fren Talk. That's FREN Talk.
Also, keep up with us on IG at Fren_Talk_podcast. That way, you'll be notified when we upload our weekly videos and to stay abreast of what we got going on. Of course, you can stream the podcast wherever podcasts are available, and please be sure to subscribe to the podcast feed. Also, set your alarms to tune in every other Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for new episodes of Fren Talk. Over here where friends be what?
Talking.